Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. This is the Arsenal season review. And a lot of the Arsenal fans that were backing Arteta at the start of the season, calling me negative, they didn't want to turn up today. But I'm joined by a special guest making his debut on the channel, my man, Clock and Curtis. Chat to me. How you been, bro?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. Just a bit, not disheartened, but it's just a shame that the season's come to an end. It's always an interesting time of the year because June, July just feels there's not much going on. It's just like transfer talk. But I just miss going to
Mm,
games, man. I miss going to Emirates because I live just outside London. So for me, I enjoy going to Highbury, Holloway, and going to away
yeah.
games as well. But how you been, man? How you doing?
Yeah, man. I've been. It's been a mix. There's been mixed emotions, should I say? Like the way the season ended. Once we lost to PSG, I can't remember how many games was after. I think 3 games. It was just like, just get this season over with. And then the Sesko news that didn't help. But you know what? We just got to give the boy a chance if that's who we go for. But yeah, man. I think. We'll start. We'll start from the very beginning of the season. How do you think the transfer window went in September? How do you think? Do you think we could have done a lot more? That's where I'm kind of getting. Talk to me about that.
100%. I think even for the most optimistic fans, I think it was a little bit underwhelming the window. I know some of our friends are, oh, we did okay, but realistically, okay. Let's start. We had our goalkeeper, right? So Raya, but that wasn't really a new signing because he was on loan from the previous season, so he just made
Mm,
permanent. And then we had what our left back or left centre back Calafiori. Okay, he looked great, but he'd had like a major injury previously, at one of his previous clubs, Bologna or wherever he played previously,
yeah, it was
and
Bologna.
then also, obviously, we had a deadline day. Oh no, sorry. Before we even get to him, we had Marino come in, and obviously there was a lot of hype around him because he done work the Euros. And he, to be fair, I watched the Euros, and he was quite impressive. He was quite impressive for Spain at the Euros. Then we were like, well, we need an attacker. We can't go into the season again with Havertz and Jesus because we know Jesus has got an injury record, and we know Havertz. Yeah, he did well towards the end of the season, but we need some more clinical. We know that we finished short of it the last two previous seasons, so we needed like attackers to come in, and then it seemed like we scrambled around. We tried to because we were linked to Sesko last summer
Mm.
window. We couldn't get a deal over the line for him or some of the other attackers we were interested in, and then like last minute, Mr. Gaspar pulls a rabbit out of the hat in Mr. Sterling as this guy's experienced. He's done well at Liverpool, Manchester City. Okay, cool, but he was terrible at Chelsea, and then we signed him as a deadline. Like the deadline day drama, come in as an attacker.
Mm.
You can play right wing, left wing, false nine. So yeah, we started the season not in the best shape with a very look. Even I know some people rate it. I rated that window as maybe a 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. I feel that
Mm.
we did the
Mm.
bare minimum going in to the season in August 2024. I didn't think we prepared ourselves to go into the new season.
You know, it's funny that you should actually say that because I actually gave the transfer window 4 out of 10. That's what I gave it. I said 4 out of 10. Merino, Calafiori, did we really need them? I don't really know if we needed them. They were like squad options. I reckon if we signed, like, I don't know, I don't want to say Sheshko, but just say we were Sheshko, whatever, for argument's sake, and someone on the right, just say Embuemo. Just say Embuemo and Sheshko were signed, and then we sprinkled it in with a bit of Merino and Calafiori. I don't think I'd have been as mad. I
Yeah,
don't think I would have been saying 4 out of 10. But the fact that we brought Marino in, I didn't believe he was a starter for us. And he's proved over the season that he weren't a starter in midfield. His best form for Arsenal's come as a striker. Calafiori, the less said about him, the better. He hardly plays. He's barely kicked the ball in the Arsenal shirt. So, and then Raheem Sterling, oh my God. One goal against, I think it was Bolton in the Carabao Cup. So I even think looking back at that window, a 4 might be generous. It might be generous because it's only Merino that I could give a mark for this. I give Marino like a 6 or 7 out of 10 for his season, for his first season. Calafiori,
4,
maybe
5.
3 or 4, yeah, because of the City goal. We got to kind of be a bit generous. And Sterling, 0. He was absolutely useless this season. So, yeah,
And there's
man.
another honorary mention as well. We'd forgotten about this one. We also signed a cup-tied goalkeeper in Neto as well.
Mm.
So yeah, we forgot about that. So we went for a backup keeper in Neto who was cup-tied, which we found that very early on into the season, and we was like, well, how are we going to give Ray a rest if we've got a cup-tied
I
keeper? He barely
I
featured.
I big up to him. I swear, look, we got the same picture. It's there. Entered the season with a thin squad and a lightweight attack. 0 out of 10 window. Lucky it wasn't a -2 out of 10. Big up to yourself and thanks for the comment, bro. But you know what? Like, some people are a bit kind of negative, but you can't really blame them. Yeah, man, big up, man. Love for that, man. Like, you can't really blame people for being negative. So, like, what's your stance on how the season played out? Like, Arteta's tactics, it very negative. Early on in the season, we was relying on a lot of set pieces. He weren't making the required substitutions. Wanyeri, us as fans, we were crying. We were begging for Ethan Wanyeri to start when Odegaard was injured. There was the Leicester game and the Southampton game. That would have been the perfect time for us to bring him in. But for some reason, we didn't. How do you think Arteta has performed this season with those little in-game tweaks? Like, what criticism or backing would you give him?
I think overall as a season, he's done well with the squad available that he's had. But what's disappointed me is indeed his in-game management at times where I've seen no substitutions or very late substitutions or shout at lead judges like for like substitutions. There's been some key games where his in-game management has cost us. Obviously, you know me, I go all home games, season
Yeah.
ticket holder. I do a lot of away games as well. There's some key moments let's go very early in the season, right? We're playing in the Champions League. We're away to Inter Milan. We're in the San Siro, and I'm watching the game, and I'm
Mm,
thinking we're lacking a lot of creativity here, and and I'm thinking we need to change it up. And I'm looking at it and thinking, like, why has Ranieri not come on? And what did he do? Like, he literally, I think, if I remember rightly, didn't Jesus play up top most of the game with like Havertz in midfield, and they only took off Havertz at the 90th minute because Havertz got an injury, and then he rushed Odegaard wasn't even fit. He rushed Odegaard back to play him for 5 minutes, and I'm coming out and I'm outside the San Siro, and I'm having a debate with Robbie as we're walking out, and Robbie's like, "Oh, we created a lot. The ref was poor today because obviously I remember we give away a free kick, and then from the free kick." Saliba gave away a free kick. It wasn't a free kick. Then
yeah.
it was like a slight touch of hand to the ball, and Marino gave away a penalty. And then we conceded the penalty. We lost the game. And I looked at that game, and I was standing outside, and I'm thinking, why? Like, clearly wasn't working with Jesus up top and Havertz in midfield. Why have we waited to the 90th something minute to then bring off Havertz to then bring on Odegaard for 5 minutes? And even prior to that, it was just really poor. Like, it's not working. Change it up. Like, 60 something minute when Eric should have come on, either be put on as a number 10 or put in a false 9. There's been a few other key minutes, like key situations. So that was just one. That was way at San Siro against Inter Milan. But PSG home and away, we're chasing a goal. We're down. We're 1-0 down against PSG at home. You're thinking, like, it's not working. Like, the amount of games I've watched this season, I'm thinking, take Marina off, put someone else up top, put Ranieri into the midfield. You notice Arteta's focus on this controlling games, but if you actually deep it and analyze it,
We
we've not
don't
had
have
a lot of
control.
control. We don't have control
We
in the
don't.
games. I'm thinking, like, even when we later come to find that Marino's best position is up top as a false 9 or as a high advanced number 10. And I think, well, you brought this guy in as a box to box, but when he plays as a box to box Marino, he gets caught in possession. So I'm thinking, prime example, Bournemouth away, right? we're
mm,
playing with. I think did we play like Partey, Rice, and Marino? I'm thinking
yeah,
we should have.
yeah,
Sometimes you need to go like attacking
yeah,
and play like, you know, why not? Because I know that people say, okay, Winery's not that great defensively. Marino's a better, Marino's better defensively. Why not in a game, shift Odegaard over to the 8 and put Winery in the 10 and have them both attack? Like, because that's the whole point why we signed Havertz, because Arteta wanted to go with Havertz as a left attacking 8 and Odegaard as a right attacking 8. It's
yes,
just been really frustrating at times in key games where we're trying to chase a goal and we see negative subs, or you'll see like for like subs, like Timber will come off for White, and then Odegaard will come off for Ranieri, and it's just frustrating. Or Havertz will come off for Jesus. I think sometimes switch it up. And like another PSG, right? You're thinking PSG home and away. You're thinking, why not play Tierney as a left back and put Lewis Skelly in the midfield? Who Lewis Skelly is great defensively and is good offensively, and he offers more than. I don't know what was going through Arteta's mind when you think a midfield of Partey, Rice, and Marino was going to be able to cope with the midfield of PSG. It just sometimes I just think he's really naive as a manager, and he's been here 5 years. You know what I mean?
madness,
And I'm
madness.
not even Arteta out, by the way. I know a lot of people are Arteta out. Some people Arteta.
Mm.
I'm probably on the
He
fence. Like,
This is Arteta's. He wants to kill Arteta. End engage with multiple fullbacks on the pitch, attackers on the bench. Merino will have it in midfield. The desperation of the tactics and lack of boldness or bravery in substitution. He's kind of echoing everything that you've just said.
you got to
That's
go for it.
basically what you said. Hmm?
They go for it. The only
And
time I think I've really impressed with Arteta this season, I think it was the Leicester City. I was at Leicester City away where he brought Marino on and he chucked him up top and he got the 2 goals and he won the game. That's the only time a few times this season when I've been really impressed. Obviously, yeah, we won Real Madrid home and away, but apart from that, there's been too many games this season where you think we need to do something here, and you're seeing like for
yeah,
like subs. And I know they say, oh, but look at our
yeah,
bench. But another thing, like, why did it take so long to play Winery on the right wing? He kept playing Martinelli and he's running the ball out all the time on the right wing.
this is the thing. He's very scared. That I don't know what he's scared of because he weren't scared when his job was on the line when he played Martinelli, Saka, and I can't
Smith
remember, was
Rowe.
it Smith Rowe against Chelsea? He weren't scared then, but now it's like he's getting comfortable, he's getting more power, and this is where like this season is where I've hit my boiling point. Yeah, I've blew a gasket because we've dropped points from we've dropped 21 points from winning positions. I'm not sure if it was even
Shocking.
more than that.
That's
And that
shocking.
is clearly that's managerial decisions. The game I knew we was finished, our season was basically done, was Brighton because he played 3 centre backs and 4 DMs. Marino, Jorginho, Partey, Rice, they were all on the pitch at the same time. Partey played right back. I think Calafiori was the left back I don't know, but it was very, very negative that day. And we had, I think it was Trossard, Martinelli, or Trossard, Jesus, and Wanyeri as a front 3. Not really the worst, but where's the creativity in the middle? This was even before we knew Marino could play a bit more further forward. So he was bought as like a DM slash a sixth. Marino, what he was known for, Jules, winning Jules. They were saying he was a jewel monster, but he's a bit too slow for midfield in the Premier League. That's what we
Yeah.
found out. And surely the scouts should have seen this. The scouts should know. They should know that, okay, in the Premier League, you kind of need players that are athletic. You need athleticism now. That is the new age of football. You have athletic midfields. Like you said, the PSG game, we got absolutely roasted for the first, I think it was 20 minutes at the Emirates. I ain't seen us get bopped off the park like that. It felt like Man City. You know what Man City and Liverpool used to do to us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was so scary that game. I
Yeah,
was
they
so happy.
City used
Mm,
to pass the ball to death, and you just couldn't get the ball off them. That's how it used to be a few seasons ago. They used to just
yeah.
overrun you in midfield.
Yeah, it was everything. And I was just happy that we actually got away with losing 1-0. I weren't sad. I was like,
Yeah.
cool. It could have been so much worse if that Barcola guy had his shooting boots on. We would have been in such big, big trouble. But it ended up trouble anyway because we went to PSG. We lost there as well, didn't we? It was 2-1. That game, Arteta, the subs, Odegaard should have been taken off at half time in the first leg. That game he was very he was so anonymous. Real Madrid, I don't know if you think he done well. That's here or there. I think
6
he
out of
could.
10, Real Madrid.
Huh?
6 out of 10, I'd probably say Real Madrid home and away.
There we go.
Slightly above average, not an 8, not outstanding like anyone else, but yeah.
Yeah, like everyone else, I'd say was eights. Maybe Saliba they maybe gave him a 7 for the away leg, maybe because of that mistake that cost.
Yeah.
There we go. And then his head kind of dropped after that. So you kind of say, okay, Saliba. Kivio, excellent. You probably say 8, 9 out of 10. Both legs, he was magnificent. I didn't think he had that in him. So I have to hold my hat off, take my hat off and say, you know what, Kivio, you kind of proved me wrong. It looks like he might be leaving, but well done anyway. You proved me wrong. So, yeah, man, Arteta and then the PSG game away leg. Why the hell was... Who did he bring on? He brought on a right back for right back. Ben White for Timber in like the 70th minute, I believe it was. Why? We're chasing the game, Arteta. Please be brave. You know, like, if we lost that game, like 3-4-1, because he said, you know what? I'm going to play Sterling left back, Trossard right back, Kivio Saliba at the back. I'm going all out attack. Declan Rice holding, Wanyeri, Odegaard, Martinelli, Merino, Saka. We're going all out attack, gung ho. And we lost 4-1. I say, you know what, Arteta, fair play. You've showed me something that you've not showed me before. You are going all out attack. That is what you're trying to do. You're trying to actually get us into the final of the Champions League, our first final since 2006. But yeah, man, it's been very negative, very, very negative for Arteta this season. I'd give him like a 5 out of 10 for the season for his performances, and I think that's being generous. I think
is that first leg of the PSG where, like you say, you're chasing the game and you've waited till 70th minute and you're making substitutions, Timber for White. You know,
I didn't mention Enrique brought on the striker Ramos when they're already winning 3-1. He brought on the striker Ramos for the left back Mendes. Why is Enrique bringing on a striker for the left back when he's 3-1 up? Surely he should be defending the lead. Nah, he saw Arsenal. We're not serious. He don't fear us.
And then the second leg where they brought on Dembele late on, they rested Dembele and brought him late on. It shows. It just makes me question. Like, you know, it's a shame because he is a good coach, he's a good manager, but it just feels like sometimes his tactics can be left to be desired. There's been too many games, like I say, where either no subs or late subs. But it just showed in that first leg of the PSG, we're 1-0 down, and he's just thrown the white towel in and just think, you know what, we're 1-0 down. I'm not gonna do anything to switch it up. And you're thinking, bring Ranieri on. We need a goal. We've seen this guy score in the Carabao Cup. We've seen him score in the Premier. We've seen him go away to Brentford and score in the Premier League. We've seen him go away to Girona in the Champions League and score. We've seen him score in the Carabao Cup, home and away. So it's like, you know, it just means sometimes you have to go attacking. You have, if we then lose the game at home and say we've lost 3-1 at home in the first leg against PSG, you can say, okay, Arteta did everything and we were unfortunate. But to then lose 1-0 at home because you've not gone to attack enough, wise, and you just conceded that you're 1-0 down. And then in the second leg, man, like, okay, we're through everything but the kitchen sink in the first 20 minutes, and then after that was it. But what really concerned me is after that first leg of knowing that you got overrun in midfield, that to continue it again, it just or even okay, was it touching on the first game, we knew Partey was suspended for the first game because of his behaviour issue at Real Madrid.
Yes.
Why did we not start with Tierney at left back, with Lewis Skelly in the midfield, play Rice as an 8, Rice as an 8, Ranieri as a 6, and Odegaard in the 10, or play Rice as a 6 and Ranieri as an 8, because we've seen with Ranieri, when he was in the academy, he played as a midfielder. He's good defensively, and he can do like defensive line splitting passes. Just what was going for Arteta's head, thinking, we can play Marino in the midfield against PSG's midfield. They've been one of the best teams in the Champions League. Oh, okay, we beat them in the group stage. Okay, we beat them in the group stage 3-4 months ago when they hadn't signed Kvaratskhelia on the left wing and Dembele wasn't playing.
Yeah.
It just isn't, like I say, tactically inept and naivety at times. This
Yeah,
manager,
man.
it's frustrating. I know people say it'll cost him, but the reality is, I think we'll still have him even at the end of next season. If we do finish trophyless, I think he'll stay because the board are not going to want to pay his contract out. Shout out my friend Ryan H. He's on AFTV all the time. He seems to
Yeah,
think that Arteta will walk next season. I said to him, no, when someone's on £15 million a year salary and they've got mortgage and all that, they ain't going to walk. He's chilling. The only time there'll be pressure on him is if he doesn't meet top four, like back-to-back seasons. Then potentially the board will take action. But they're just happy with top four and UCL money. That's reality.
Nah, that the board they don't seem to have standards. I don't know if Berta is gonna have the balls to sack Arteta. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think
Realistically, if he finishes next season and with a no trophy again, like how long is this gonna go? Because I ask people how long. Because you say you're happy for him to stay one more season, but how long are we gonna say if he continues to not win trophies, when is enough enough? That's what I want to know.
next
When
season
is
should be
enough
his
enough?
last. And I'm not even Arteta in or out, but I think next season should be his last. Reason being, this is going to be the window where he gets backed, right? Well, he's been back previous windows. He might not necessarily spend the money as wisely as he should have. We've bought an awful lot of defenders. We've bought quite a few midfielders, and he's neglected the attack. We've not bought enough attacking options. Right wingers, left wingers, centre forwards. This season, he's going to get forwards. He's going to get a left winger and a striker. He's got to get it right. And also, I don't think, as much as people say Burst's got a lot of power, Berta is just a sporting director, but it's not up to Berta whether Arteta gets sacked or not. All Berta will do is during the year, we'll say to the Cronkies, yeah, you've backed this man £600 million, £700 million. We've given him his forwards in summer 2024, and if we're not on course to win a trophy, but it's not Berta's decision if he gets sacked or not. It's Kroenke's. All Berta will do is report back to the Kroenke, so I don't think this guy's the man. And it will then be the Kroenkes to make a decision. I personally don't think they'll sack him because, like I say, they're happy with top four. We'll get to the end of the season. We've got top four again. We've got Champions League. It's been 6. I think they'll keep him. I think it'll be 7 or 8 years before they'll probably, at that point, like after 7 or 8 years, they'll be, okay, we've spent a lot of money.
Aye,
He's had his scores
okay.
3 years. I don't think we'll go next summer.
But do you think there'll be not riots, but do you think there's gonna be protests next season?
Yeah.
If it looks like we're not gonna win, do you think protests will come back for the ownership's head and Arteta's head?
It'll be both, but personally, I think the reason why I give a little bit more lenience to Arteta is because I feel that he probably is out of his depth. So for me, it's more on the owners because they're putting a manager who wasn't experienced enough. This is his first managerial job, first coaching job. So I put a lot of the onus is on the owners for not installing the right person in the job. And 2, whilst we've not spent to the kind of levels that other owners have spent, like Chelsea spent £1 to £2 billion. We spent 800 million just to catch up to the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, and we're still 200 million short. So for me, and also what doesn't help, the owners didn't sanction enough spending in summer 2024. And again, when they had a chance to sanction spending in January, look at January. Manchester City, they of course, they're not finishing the top 4. What do? They go out and spend money. They bring in, what's my man's name? Mamouche and a few other players. And, they get to an FA Cup final and they kind of do all right towards the end of they didn't finish too bad in the table. And whereas our owners, we're crying out for players in January. And, without, you had Arteta sending indirects to the board saying, well, it's clear, it's obvious that that we need an attacker, and the fact the board didn't sanction in January, that's mad. It's crazy itself. But we'll have to see what kind of this transfer window will be a big indication as to whether what the actual ambition is of our ownership. If Arteta's not backed properly, and I don't think we'll spend 2 to 300 million this summer. I think we'll spend 100 million, 150 million on probably 2 players. And it's crazy because we're going to have a lot of players going out. If you think about it, we've got Kieran Tierney's left on a free and might return to Celtic or Celtic, however you want to say it. You've got Zinchenko, who possibly might be leaving the club, depending on if a decent deal comes in. Kivio might stay. If we get an offer for him, he might go. Tomiyasu, he's still got a fair amount of time to go and he's injured. God knows when he'll be back. Wyatt's
We
going
don't
to take.
know.
Wyatt's still recovering from injury. Timber's just had surgery. Then we look at the midfield. We've got some money for Tavares because he sealed his permanent loan to Lazio. We've got Lokonga, who we're going to extend his deal to retain some value. Most likely he'll go back out on loan, Lokonga. We've got Partey. We're not sure what we're doing with Partey. Hopefully, potentially a contract extension with him. We've got Reece Nelson, who you'll see is recovering from injury. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with him. It's just great. And then we've got the uncertainty with, is Martinelli staying? Are we going to sell Martinelli to AC Milan or Barcelona if we get an offer? Trossard, we're trying to negotiate a new deal with Trossard. So it makes me think that we've got these links to Rodrigo, but I'm thinking, well, one, Rodrigo's got obviously discussions with the manager at Real Madrid as to whether if he's going to stay or if he's going to get enough minutes because he doesn't want to play on the right-hand side. And Arsenal would be a good project for Rodrigo. My only skepticism of him coming, he's going to want to be given some certainties that he's going to be playing regular minutes, which, to be fair, if we're in FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League, Premier League, Rodrigo would get minutes, but Arteta's very sentimental when it comes to players, and he has a defined love for Martinelli. So how much time would Rodrigo actually get? But saying that if we got Rodrigo, Tross and Martinelli, with the three of them, that should be enough players to cover that wing spot. But even this Sesko deal, us linked to Sesko and not Gyökeres, because Gyökeres is want to come in and be the number one. But the reality is, you've got your highest paid player on £265,000 or £330,000 a week, who's on a 5-year deal or something. Arteta's going to want to start Havertz as his number 9. Gyökeres is not going to be the number 2. Similar to Sesko. I actually think Sesko's a better player than Havertz. So I think when Sesko comes in, he's going to be pushing him for that spot. But it is a project. It's mad to say that we're 6 years in and it's still a project. I don't even know what phase we're in. I've lost count. Is it phase 5, phase 6?
What phase is Glasner in? What phase is Angie in? Angie even got sacked. He brought success. We had our rivals down the road. We laugh at Tottenham. What do you think of Tottenham? Shit. We laugh at them all the time. And even they left with something last season. So this is my next question. Because someone actually asked me, would I take 17th at the Champions League? Which is a crazy question. I know your answer. You'd say, yeah, wouldn't you?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I had this discussion with Cecil the other day, and I did say, it's a debate between better and more successful. I did say in my interview on ATV that it was a better season that Spurs had, but realistically, they had a more successful season because obviously, whilst they finished 17th in the Prem, they won a trophy. Whereas with us, we had a better season that was more consistent in the Premier League. We had a good Champions League campaign, but we got dumped out early in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. So we were more consistent across all our tournaments, but we didn't have, it wasn't tangible because we didn't win a trophy. So it is a tough discussion. Would I take 17th in the Champions League? I guess most the real passionate fans who measure success based on trophies, realistically, yeah. But you think that's a lot of losses, man. Would we be sitting there happy as fans with 22 losses, but with a Champions League title? I don't know. Silver is great though.
Look, I would take the last day of the season, having to win, going to any ground in the league if it meant that we won that Champions League, because that is all people talk about. Where's your Champions League? Where's your UCL? Where's this? Where's that? Where's the European heritage? Arsenal can't be considered a European juggernaut, a heavyweight in world football until we win the Champions League. It is so sad because we're definitely the biggest club to never win a Champions League. And it's just so sad that I thought this was the year. I had my hopes set on going to that final because I said the team that has won the Champions League every single time in Munich is winning it for the first time. And PSG won it. So that's 5 finals in Munich, 5 first-time winners. Can you imagine that?
It's mad because our Champions League form was quite good. I've been to all the group stage ones at home. I went to Sporting Lisbon away. We actually put it was 5-1, wasn't it? We put them to the slaughter. We did well there. I went to Inter Milan. Obviously, we lost 1-0 there. PSV Eindhoven, I wasn't lucky enough to get out there, but we was against. We wasn't playing 7-1. We weren't even playing that well, and I didn't back us going out there to get a result. We won 7-1. Real Madrid, I went out there without a ticket. I was debating sitting in the home end. Didn't want to pay €500 in the end, but a lot of people didn't give us a chance. Like 2 weeks before that game to go out there, even after we won the first leg, going out there, a lot of us were nervous. Went out there and we got a result done in the second leg. And it's just a shame. And then going into the 2 PSG legs, especially the first PSG leg, I thought we would not roll them over, but I thought we'd win 2-1 or 3-2 against PSG at home. And I had a shout out this guy who's a Chelsea fan on my TikTok, and he even said to me, tomorrow's going to be a tough game. That PSG at home, he goes, that was it Venetia? What's the guy's name?
Vitinha.
He goes, he's going to overrun you midfield. He goes, your midfield will not be able to live with PSG's midfield. And then I went to the game, watched it at the Emirates. I'm traveling on the tube. I'm look at my TikTok, and the guy's messaging me. He goes, look, I told you, Arsenal's midfield can't live with PSG's midfield. He goes, watch next week. It'll be something similar. And literally the same thing happened. We got overrun in the away league. And it's just a shame because I've been saying for months that I'm thinking Chelsea twice have won the Champions League with a poor Premier League form. I said it when I was outside the San Siro away to Inter Milan. I said Chelsea won a few years ago. Didn't Chelsea finish 6th or 8th in 2021 and they won the Champions League? So if they can do it, we can do it. So it's disappointing that Arteta couldn't get his in-game management right in 2 PSG legs because we would have gone away to the final. And it's just disappointing because we especially had Inter Milan turned up. If we'd done our job against PSG against 2 legs, we'd have gone into that final with Inter or whatever, and we might have fared. But it's just a shame. It's just yet again another opportunity missed. And even touching on the other cups, I went to Newcastle home and away in the Carabao Cup, and that was shocking. Yeah. Like we got put to the sword 2-0 at home. And I said to Robbie, realistically, he's going to be a very massive, tough ask. I can't see us turning it around. We went away to Newcastle United in the Carabao Cup. It was the same thing. And there were warning signs because Isak scored, but then it was ruled offside. And then we got put to the slaughter away in the Carabao Cup, Newcastle United. Then even Manchester United, we weren't good enough in the FA Cup at home. You need to be winning in 90 minutes. And then to miss penalties, man. It's just shame that the amount of trophies, the opportunities that we've bottled over the last 5 years.
We had the opportunity. Odegaard missed the penalty in the game. Like he literally missed the penalty in the game. We shouldn't even have had that penalty. But yeah, man, it's very disappointing. You know what? Because even talking about Odegaard, man, what's your stance like? How do you think he's performed this season? And have you got eyes on him for next season? Potentially captaincy being stripped, not being a regular starter, being replaced. I don't know. Where's your stance on our captain? Because to me, this season has been so poor. Even from the first game of the season, before the injury, I was like, "What's going on?" Him, Declan Rice, they started the season very, very poorly. Obviously, Rice, we know we picked it up, but what's your thoughts on Odegaard? And do you feel like the criticism is just? Do you believe that is the baby, why he's been performing badly? Do you believe it's the injury? Because someone said it's the worst injury in the world that he had, the ankle injury. I know it's a lot to unpack, but there you go, man.
For me, he's been a 4 out of 10 this season. He's been under par. Considering a couple of seasons ago, he scored 10 to 15 goals in the Premier League and his assists were mad. Like, it's just his drop-off has been crazy. And I understand, to be fair, that, he's had a lot of stuff off the pitch. You think he had to come back from a difficult injury when he got injured away on international duty before Christmas. And then, obviously, he's got married. So he had the arrival of his first child, I believe. And then, obviously, he's got married as well. But what's frustrated me is that we've not had any competition for spots and places that he knows he's going to get played week in, week out. And Arteta was kind of skeptical about playing, obviously, Waneri in the number 10 role. And it just seems like what the thing is, I expect him to perform both as a number 10 and as a captain. And just for me, like I'm from East London, right? So like I live around Monks, I live in Hornchurch in Upminster, and I'm surrounded by West Ham fans, and obviously they're in awe of Declan Rice, even though he's left, and some of them are sad. Majority of the people where I live in my road and my neighbourhood, they're still a massive fan of him, and for me, and even they've said it, Declan Rice should be captain at Arsenal Football Club. There's been plenty of key games where he's grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and got it over the line. He's vocal on the pitch. He's vocal in the dressing room. But not just that. If you look at a lot of the media duties, TNT Sports, Prime, Amazon Prime, Video Sport, all these media outlets, the man he's given a lot of interviews, sometimes even more interviews than Odegaard and Saka. So it makes me start to think like maybe maybe are they preparing Rice for a captaincy next year, because he's doing a lot of interviews pre and post match on Amazon Prime Video, on TNT Sports, Haters TV, and I'm thinking he's doing more interviews last few months than even Odegaard.
Yeah. You know what, like, I think he should be stripped of the captaincy. I think they should just take it off him. You know, sometimes players with that, like,
it's a burden.
Once it's taken off, yeah, it's a burden. Look at Harry Maguire at Man United. He was a laughing stock. Now he's serviceable. He's not as bad, is he? Like, you actually see Maguire, and he's no longer a meme. You see him looking like Beckenbauer, running down the wing, putting crosses into the box. You're like, yo, what happened to this player that was the captain? The captain that was a meme every week, falling over, making mistakes. So I would personally strip Odegaard of the captaincy. Maybe not replace him. I'd give him next season. Maybe this was just a blip. That's how I'm seeing it. But I feel like we need competition. Whether that's Wanyeri getting more game time in his preferred position, in Odegaard's position, or it's Max Dowman breaking through, because people are saying Max Dowman's already better than Odegaard. This is what people are saying. So yeah, I'm excited about next season. Let's go on to Max as well.
Max Dowman, what a player! I've only seen like some showreels of him, but what I'm really looking forward to, because I do follow a lot of off season. Some fans don't, but I remember the last couple of years when we've gone off to US. I've watched games at late at night. I know when we've gone to the US, we played at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. I've watched it 1 a.m. and stuff like that. I've watched it. Also, we're going to be in Asia, so the time difference is going to be mad this pre-season. Yeah. But I'm excited to see, because watch out, my guy Jason Clark is always on AFTV, and Jason, I think, went to the FA Cup or whatever game it was a few months ago, and he said this player is unreal. And the thing is, with Max, he can play the 10, he can play right wing, he can play false 9, and even Arteta said in an interview recently that we've got Max coming up. So he's going to be getting first team minutes next season. So you're going to have Ranieri, Dowman, and Odegaard battling for that number 10 spot. But also, like I say, where Dowman can play right wing, can play false 9, similar to Ranieri, which is going to increase the depth. And Odegaard needs to be looking over his shoulder, because with Ranieri there and Dowman there, it should be competition for places. And yeah, ideally, I would like to see Rice made captain next season, but I don't think with Arteta's come out and defended Odegaard quite a few times around the captaincy, and even Rice has spoken up for Odegaard recently when it's been questioned as, you know, is Odegaard the right person because he's not that vocal, whereas Rice is more vocal on and off the pitch. We'll have to see, but yeah, definitely, like, I would like to keep Odegaard because I think he's a talented player, and I think this was an off season for him. But come next season, if he's not performing, come into the season, we need to move him on. But I think what I'd like to see next season, when he's not performing, he's got to be subbed. You can't keep being sentimental towards your players. If they're not performing, they have to be dropped. But what it is, he doesn't want to drop his captain. But if you look at Granit Xhaka, when he was freed of the captaincy, his performances improved. And when he was made box rather than a CDM, his performances improved. So that's something they have to consider.
Yeah, man, because this is what I'm saying. I don't really like making excuses for players, but what's going to change though? Because we've seen Arteta stubborn. Like, we've seen him for 5 years. It's getting worse. Him not making substitutes. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what is really going to change? If Odegaard's still stinking next season, why is Arteta going to sub him? Why? What's going to change?
For me, Odegaard's played that position. I'd rather... Okay, we know that Marino's not athletic enough, right? We know... And also, if you notice with Odegaard, he leads the press in a 4-4-2. When we're out of position, he'll lead the press with a 4-4-2 with Havertz, right? But also, you'll see Odegaard dropping dropping quite deep to receive the ball from Saliba, Gabriel, Timber. So he contributes a lot in the build-up play. And Odegaard's quite good defensively. Me personally, Move Odegaard to an 8. Pay him as a box to box. Have a obviously we can't get Works because he's going off to Liverpool now. But go and get a proper 10, a Musiala or someone who could, we missed an opportunity. Why we should have gone and got Bellingham for the 100 and something mil. I know that was mad money at the time, but he is one of the most complete midfielders. Bellingham, we should have paid the 100 mil and got him. But we've also got Rice. When Odegaard was out, give credit to Rice because we've seen that he's a complete midfielder as well. Because of us, we've seen Odegaard. We've seen Rice play 6. We've seen him play. Also, there was a few games where we did see Rice play as a right 8, as a creative 8. So there are options available where if he's not performing, I personally, like I say, I would like to move Odegaard to an 8 and bring in a proper 10. But it depends on what the board is prepared to spend money wise.
But then what though? So what? Rice in the 6?
Potentially, Rice can play 6. Rice can play, Rice is 6. Maybe Odegaard is 8, bringing a proper 10. There's talks like I tell you who I really really like. You'll probably
Is it?
similar thoughts to me. Eze. I've been watching this player for several seasons now. Last season, he was available for £60 million in August last year. And Mr. Edu Gaspar, chose not to go out and sign this player after he had a fantastic, great season, goals and assists last year. Similar, we had the opportunity to sign Marco Elise, and we chose not to. There were 2 players last season we missed out. Eze, Marco Elise. And another opportunity now to sign Eze. I know his money would be mad. It might be up to 80 mil, but for me, Eze can play the 10. Attacking midfielder, he could play an 8 box to box. He could play left wing. He can play right wing. He can play false 9. So you've got the versatility. Another person we were linked to a few seasons ago, Mohamed Kudus. We could have got him for £38 million, £45 million from Ajax. We chose not to. He went to West Ham.
Havertz money. I think Havertz. I think that's what it was. He was waiting for us.
And we could have, and he had a great first season under. I think he was still playing under Moyes. So I know under Lopetegui he's not been great, and I know he's a big character, and there's concerns about him playing under Arteta because we know Arteta struggles with big characters. But I'm looking at that Kudus still now. I know it's £85 million, but I'm thinking, it might be something worth doing, like because he can play the 10. Odegaard play right wing, so he can cover for second, play false 9. He can play left wing.
9, yeah.
So, and there's plenty of games and plenty of minutes. So, but also whether we activate his release clause or not for Kudus, they might be up for negotiation because a lot of their fans want him gone at West Ham. There's question marks over him.
Yeah, there's some more names. I don't really know Alex Biena. I know Jeremy Pino was linked with him before. I remember Jeremy Pino. His stocks have kind of gone down. And Conche Shao, he looks like a player. You see his goal the other day. Hey, but there's options. I'll be so disappointed if we don't address that forward line. If I don't see 2 forwards, ideally I want to see 2 forwards and a number 10. That's what I want to see. A striker, a left winger, and a number 10. But is Arsenal like we're already looking at Zubimendi? We've just bought Kepa. Like
it's a bit underwhelming. Like, don't get me wrong, the Kepa one makes smart business because we need a second keeper. Last season we was linked with Juan Garcia for 25 mil. There was questions mark over him. Would he want to be a second keeper? Season 8 say he's gone Barcelona. I think it's a good bit of business. £5 million for this. Obviously, Kepa is coming in and he can be a number 2 and he can push. Raya, and he can at least be able to play minutes in Carabao Cup, FA Cup, etc. But even with this Zubimendi deal, there's uncertainty as to whether it's going to happen. I know that there's talks that we're holding out to July because of accounting reasons for his parent club and also for us at Arsenal. But the thing is, he's taking photos of himself on the beach and saying, like, don't believe the hype. Also, like, we might be renewing Partey, he can play as CDM. We've got, obviously, Rice, who can play as a CDM. And potentially Lewis Kelly can play CD. And I'm just thinking like that 50-something million over we put there for Zubimendi. Why couldn't that have gone on an attacking midfielder? Why couldn't it have gone on a striker? Like sorting a replacement CDM was kind of further down the pecking order than getting a forward in because it's not. It seems like we go into every transfer window carrying on the previous issues from the last. Like we still have issues with the left hand side with our left winger. We still have issues with our centre forward because Jesus is probably not going to be back till like, I don't know, December. He's not going to be fit when August comes.
he looks like he's on schedule maybe to be back at like September, October, but then it's too late. We can't get rid of him.
So we're stuck with
So
him for another season. That's the thing. Like he got injured in, was it January? He got injured, and
yeah,
similar to you, I've seen pictures of him. Looks like he's doing light training. We're now in June. Okay, so the season starts in August. So he's going to have no preseason. He's going to minimal preseason.
yeah.
So what happens if he breaks down again? Like,
That's to say I won't play him again. I won't
just
even
don't
risk
play
it.
him. Sell him in
Like,
January, get a fee, move him on.
but this is the thing, like, well, this is very true as well. The Havertz signing has screwed us in more ways than one because, like you say, anyone that comes to Arsenal, they're gonna want top dollar. Like if Gyökeres was coming, I need 300k minimum. Havertz is on 280, so I need my payment. So that's set us back. We didn't need him at the time. The signing did not make sense. It set us back 2 years. I know
Yeah.
we people sing waka waka and enjoy it, but the reality is we signed him as a left eight. We're still looking for a so-called left eight sort of position. You know what I mean? Declan Rice might go there. Is he gonna play as the six? We don't know. We're looking for a striker, even though Havertz was playing as a striker. So it set us back in so many ways, man.
I just
So
can't.
many ways, man.
Arteta in an interview when we signed Havertz, and he goes, "I'm bringing Havertz in as a midfielder," and then he played him as a left eight where he was struggling to contribute, and he played him there for the whole first of the first half of the season, and then suddenly he moves from left eight to as a false nine, and it works. And the thing is, a couple of times we saw him as a false nine when he was in that Community Shield game, he looked all right. And then the second
Yeah.
half of the season, when we saw him back as a false nine, he looked as a false nine or as an advanced 10, he looked okay. But other times we've seen him as a 10, he's not looked comfortable. A left eight, he's not looked comfortable. And I think what it is because we went into that season, and the couple of times when we did see Smith Rowe appear towards the end of that previous season, he was playing Smith Rowe as the left eight. And there was talks at the time that he was going to take the Granit Xhaka role. I'd have rather kept Smith Rowe, and because obviously I know that he has injury woes, and played him as a left eight, as an option, either to cover Odegaard. And look what happened. Odegaard went and got injured the first 3
Shouldn't
months
have
of the
got rid
season.
of him.
Smith Rowe could have played on the right hand side as a right eight when Odegaard was out. But not just that. In key games where Marino, whoever's struggling in left eight, we did see towards the end of Smith Rowe's time where I think it was that Luton game at home before they went down that we played Smith Rowe as a left eight and Odegaard as a right eight, and we had a double attacking outlet. And yeah, it just like I said, we still have concerns over the left eight spot. We're still looking for a left eight now or creative eight because shout Yardman, he's been saying for 2 to 3 seasons we need a creative midfielder, and we still need a false nine. So, but I'm hoping if this Cisco deal comes in, he's got to deliver. I know but you can really see the excuse. You can see the excuses forming where they're going to be like, "Oh, he was a young striker. He's still adapting to the Prem. He's only 21. He needs time." That's what's going to be said in June when we get to June next year. We've not won, but I think they've got to win something. Some fans are saying it should be Premier League or Champions League. For me, it should be, but it has to be something. An FA Cup minimum. We have to, with the amount of work he's done, he's got to win a trophy next season. No excuses.
Yeah,
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, me, I'm Prem or but I already want him gone. So it's just like, but at this stage, it doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, like it doesn't really matter as long as he wins. That I just want a trophy now. I just want a trophy, and he's not going nowhere. So like, just give me something. Do you know what I mean? Like it's only a big one that's gonna change my opinion on Arteta. Like, I'm not going to change my opinion if he wins the FA Cup. Even if he wins the FA Cup and Carabao Cup next season, I'm not going to change my opinion on him. I'm just going to be happy. I'm just going to be happy that he's got us a trophy. But the end goal, I think we can all say the end result is, can we win the Champions League for the first time, or can we win the Premier League in the first time in 21 years? Those are, you know what I mean? Those are the end goals. And I just, I'm stressed out, man. Arteta's he's really got to be. And look, you see, a lot of people, the comments, people are angry. We got this, he's very angry today. The money, look at this. 260 Jesus is on 240 Odegaard. Like, this is crazy money. It set us back. And players that are just not good enough. They're not good enough at this moment in time because they haven't got us over the line. Once they do get us over the line, then you give them a pay rise. Why do we always give people money so fast?
It's just mad because if you look at it, right, when we did the Havertz business, I remember sitting in the park where I work in Green Park, and I'm thinking we've literally. I'm thinking this guy is like a 30-40 million pound player. And when I saw the Ornstein or Romano tweet, this was like, was it June, July 2023? I'm sitting in Green Park in St James's Park at lunch, and I'm thinking they're going to bring him on for 60. Sorry, they're bringing him in for 60 million plus 5 million to Chelsea. He's going to be on 270 wages a week. And I'm thinking for an attacking midfielder. I just think, I thought, and then when we, like I said, we did that first half season. He didn't work out as a left day. He's moved to false nine. I'm thinking, yeah, it's great. We did that first campaign. We fell short. And I think, why do we go into the second campaign in the same position? Well, I don't know. Why was the board so naive? You know, why is it so naive that we're going into the second campaign not really strengthening from the previous when we know we need more attackers? So it's just frustrating with our board. Meanwhile, my season ticket's gone up another £40 or £60. I'm paying over £1,500 for a season ticket. Merch is coming out every month. And the amount of kits and training kits we have, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
And now we've got division. We've got division amongst the fan base. We've got the Teta in, the Teta out, the Cronkies in, the Cronky out. Oh, you're a top gooner. You're a toxic gooner. Toxic positivity, toxic negativity. Are you a Teta in or out? There's no like middle ground. I'm an Arsenal supporter. Are you a Teta in or a Teta out? It's just crazy. So I'm hoping hopefully, yeah, that. It's gonna. I reckon the protest will be similar to what we had in 2021 when we had that European Super League jazz. What come about? So next year, I was debating doing a protest at the end of this season, Newcastle, but I just thought whilst he does need to go, the manager he's not been given his forwards to his credit. So if he gets his forwards in somebody still doesn't live, he's got no excuses. Even I like to call him the Arteta Loyalists because the other term that people call him I think is a bit derogatory. But
yeah.
Even though Arteta Loyalists,
speak of the devil and he shall appear. Look, that's the name. yeah. Nah, but realistic. Yeah. Nah, carry on, bro.
So yeah, the thing is, realistically, he's got to deliver. He's got to be a Premier League or Champions League next season. If it's not, give me the FA Cup and Carabao Cup together, or Premier League and FA Cup. FA Cup is our baby. The way we battled it to Manchester United this season is not good enough. We can't keep going out in the fourth round of the FA Cup every year. We can't keep going out Carabao Cup in the manner that we're doing it. So, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. People come after me because I said he's only won a trophy in COVID when there was no fans and there was unforeseen circumstances. Because even that period, I was a bit mad here and there because it was 15th at a stage, but I could kind of see that without fans, that kind of youngish team, they looked lost. Like we looked so lost in that lockdown period, but he somehow managed to get us a cup. So now there's fans. Can you win us a trophy with fans? Can we as fans get to celebrate? I don't know if they'll probably do a parade for FA Cup. I don't know if they're going to do it. It needs to be a big one. Next season has to be.
He has to win the FA Cup minimum. We can't keep bottling the FA Cup too many times, man. Like this season, the FA Cup, we bottled it to, Manchester United. The previous year, we bottled it to Liverpool at home. The year before that, we bottled FA Cup to Manchester City away. We bottled the FA Cup to, was it Nottingham Forest one time away, wasn't it? Like in the recent,
when he smashed the thing. I can name you all of the bottlings. Sporting Lisbon. I was at that game where Ramsdale got lobbed. That was a bottling. Olympiacos. Yeah, Olympiacos. We bottled that one. Aubameyang missed the open goal in last 32 of the Europa League. Emre took us out. Semi-final. Went on to win it. I was at the Brighton game. The Brighton game in the Carabao Cup. We bottled that one. West Ham. 3-1. Battered us.
West Ham away Carabao Cup. Newcastle United away Carabao Cup.
There we go. And then you got the FA Cup, like you said, the Nottingham Forest and Southampton. Southampton took us out.
The last
Yeah,
5 years have
Arteta.
been terrible.
Yeah, man, this 5 years, man. So I got a couple of questions because people, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Love for being here and showing us love, and especially Mr. Arteta, the Mr. Arteta in the comments. Big up to you, yeah. But yeah, you see red cards and injuries. Would you give that a lot of excuse? And why are we so ill-disciplined? Why do we get so emotional? Is it the fan base creeping into the players in the dressing room? Why they just get red cards for no reason? Or maybe you think there's an agenda against Arsenal? Start of the season, we were the only side to get red cards, second yellows for kicking a ball away. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Do you put any of the season down to that?
I think a small fact is there's going to be some accountability ownership percentage has to go to that. Don't get me wrong, there has been some poor refereeing decisions, obviously, like Rice getting sent off for tapping the ball away. Trossard struggling to, the whistle went, but he'd really gone in that motion to kick the ball away. We've been unfortunate in that regard, obviously. When Lewis Skelly got sent off for a red card and it later got rescinded, there's been some poor referee decisions, but that aside, we haven't been good enough. So people saying, this season it's cost referees have cost us and poor decisions. We still haven't done enough in the 90 minutes to win the game. The amount of times I've seen Liverpool in the last 2 seasons where they've had a bad referee decision to go against them. They've gone down to 10 men. Someone's been sent off. They've gone ahead. They've gone in the game. They've gone ahead in the game and they've gone and won the game. We haven't had enough games, but we've dug in the trenches and we've pulled out a result. But yeah, there's definitely a discipline issue because even I think Arteta credited it. I think was it after PSV Eindhoven away, where Arteta admitted that Lewis Skelly should have had that second yellow and got sent off.
When he took him off, innit?
Skelly's young, he's still got to learn. But there's definitely been some with poor. I know that they were on. People might say, the one where Saliba got sent off Bournemouth way was unfortunate, but you just don't give the referees these decisions to make. We know that they don't like us. We've seen it in enough campaigns. Don't give the referee, a decision. Similar like this, a prime example, Liverpool away, but the last few games of the season, why is Marino committing multiple fouls and offences in such a small period? It's just foolishness.
This is our record as well. Look at that, most red cards. And that was probably early on in the season, before the Skelly red card, before the Marino red card. 20 red cards for Arsenal, 5 more than Wolves. And I'm pretty sure it's even worse than that. There's so many bad things from this season. I'll put up another graphic. There we go. Goals conceded from set pieces in the Premier League. Arsenal, the highest percentage of their goals were conceded from set pieces, even though we're scoring a lot of goals from set pieces. Then we got this graphic, what we spoke about, most points dropped from winning positions, 21. We're there with Southampton, Ipswich, Fulham, and Tottenham. It's been a very, very bad season. I don't really want to keep going because it's going to drive me a bit crazy, So my last question, sort of, what do we need to go one better? What do we need? What would you feel comfortable with? How many players do we need? Because I think it's 6. How many players do you think we need to get us over the line, and who? Some names. And drop names in the comments as well.
So left wing, like they said, I would take a Rodrigo, I would take a Morgan Rogers. Even though for me, Morgan Rogers probably is more midfielder. They said he can play left wing. So for me, Morgan Rogers or Rodrigo or an Eze on the left wing. Centre forward, for me, I'd have a preference over Gyökeres than Sesko, but I'd take over Gyökeres or Sesko. Right winger, I'd like in Burma, but obviously he's gone off to Man United, so we'd have to look at someone else who can maybe potentially play there. Can't really draw a name out. Or was it the Semenyo? He can play the right corner, Semenyo from Bournemouth?
Yeah, right and left.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So you can play right and left, potentially take Semenyo. We definitely did an attacking midfielder with it's Kudus, Eze, something like that. We need another defender, really, because someone touched on this the other day. Shout out I think it was DJB and Aaron, and they said like, we have Tomiyasu who obviously can cover right centre back and right back, but he's been every injured, similar to Ben White. So obviously
He needs to
Timber
die.
was overplayed. So Timber was overplayed. So for example, the previous season to that, we had it's just crazy.
Ben White overplayed the season before. Timber overplayed this season. This is on Arteta though. He doesn't help himself. He doesn't help himself.
When I deeped it, and I think, hold on a minute. It's like, so Timber was injured the whole season, so Ben White overplayed, and then Ben White carried an injury for the whole of the season. Then we went into the next season. Then Timber overplayed because White was out most of the season, and then now White's still struggling for fitness, and he's about recovering from injury. And now Timber's had to have surgery, and we have to see how he fares in the next season. But you're right, and then we don't know what's happening. They reckon that the Tomiyasu surgery was to prevent further injury because he had, was it knee surgery or something like that? He could be finished. Man. I don't know.
Do you know if Partey's staying?
I think because he wasn't put in that list, was he, of players that departed the club. But this is another thing. Why do we struggle to keep academy talent? When I saw that list the other day, what Robbie put out,
Salah is a baller. Do you remember him from pre-season? He was one of our better midfielders. Salah, Adine, Mahan. Yeah, he was a baller.
Why is Cabia gone? Why is Butler, Deji gone? Like, we could have, hold them, retain a fee, bed them into the team next season when we're short of people, get them minutes, and then look to sell them on for a fee later on. Why are we struggling to keep talent?
Like, why didn't he get like from pre-season last season? He was our best youngster, Salah. He looked like, I thought he was gonna break in. I didn't expect Miles Lewis-Skelly. He come out of nowhere and just broke in. He's been the standout youngster, even though Ethan, we always knew Ethan was gonna get games, but Salah looked very ready. He looked ready. I see against Man United, that was the game. Bossing that midfield. He looked so comfortable on the ball. He able to bring the ball forward, drive, nice way to pass. He didn't get his chance. Now he's left. And yeah, for 1 year, he's not signing a new contract as well at the moment. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks over Arsenal. So how many players was that you named? You didn't actually finish.
We didn't say number. So was it one for left winger? We need an attacking midfielder, that's 2. We need a false 9 or striker, that's 3. 4 right winger. We need a DM, don't we? So that's 5. We need a defender, that's 6. So I think we're
what about backup goalie?
Oh yeah, we need backup goalie. So that's 7 players, don't we? But I think we've done. Depends where you look at Kepa, but I suppose it's not really a done deal to activate the release clause. So 7 players, and we still need to consider how many players are going out, because depending on the amount of players that go out, we might need to have more than 7 players come in.
Yeah, that's gonna be my next question, but I agree. So definitely striker, definitely a winger, definitely a number 10. Looks like we need a DM. That's 4. Left centre back / left back, whatever, because we've lost Tierney. Kivio looks like he's going. Zinchenko's gonna go, and then you got the goalkeeper. So that's my 6. But yeah, I don't know. 7, that's fine. I don't mind. But who do you want to leave? What players do you think should leave?
Zinchenko needs to move on, because I think we've moved past him as a left back option. And the thing is, why is it taking so long for Arteta to play him in the midfield where his natural position is, to then play him as a box or cam? So yeah, for me, Zinchenko's got to go. Kiva, I'm happy to stay because I think he offers good cover, and also as we've seen Kivia play left centre back when Gabriel's been out. We've seen Kivia previously play left back as well. And the thing is, like, Calafiori has been out injured quite a lot this season, man. And also, some people, Calafiori's better as a left centre back than a left back as well. I'll put that out there. Who else do we want to see? Lokonga, but then I think they're realistically going to extend him to retain his value. Nelson, I wouldn't mind selling Nelson to invest.
Tavares is gone.
Fabio
Vieira.
Oh yeah, we forgot about my man Vieira. So he's been on loan back to Porto, because he was meant to be brought in as this next best thing, and we saw cameos from him. Fulham at home, we come on and change the game.
Yeah,
He scored,
outstanding. Man United game when you put Jesus through.
and he scored a banger at Brentford away a few seasons ago.
Yeah,
And we just not see much of him apart from that, and it's just a shame because we need to get a theme from him and go and get a proper attacking midfielder because it was quite a bit. Was it like 35 to 45 million pounds he paid
I
for him?
think it was 40 million into maybe 34 million. I think it was 34, maybe 6 million in add-ons. Like realistically, yeah, there's a lot. Nelson, like you said, Martinelli or Trossard, one of them or both of them, but then that will just make us need to do more business. So
Tommy
Jesus,
Yasu, with him injured, he ain't going nowhere,
just rip up
and
that
nor is
contract.
Jesus. But
Yeah,
maybe let Tommy Yasu go on a free and just save the
yeah,
wages, man. Let him go to another
yeah.
club and
Someone said that before, man. Someone in the comments said, yeah, just let him go for free. Just rip up that contract for real. Just rip it up, man. But yeah, it's been emotional. It's been emotional. The rest of the Arsenal fans didn't want to show face. Someone was saying they're coming on, but I think we'll leave it. You're gonna watch the football, the final.
maybe I'm probably
Okay,
even doing a bit of content, reviewing a bit of content. But I know it's international. I don't
okay,
mind
man.
international duty. I don't mind it. I will tend to
Yeah.
watch a little bit of it. So
Okay. Well, people, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Big up to all of you that have been talking in the chat. We appreciate you. Curtis, catch you on the other side. Bless.